everyone. This is Michael Neri from Elevation Real Estate, and with me, as always, is Karlo Agustin from CrossCountry Mortgage. Here to talk about our very interesting February, not including the Super Bowl, so we're not going to talk about that today. But something that I've been seeing in the market, because I have buyers out and about both Alameda County and in San Francisco County, something that I've been seeing is a lack of inventory. And so that got me thinking a little bit about, where's inventory headed for February, March, and what's driving that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a quick infographic now, and then I'll talk about that. Okay, so what you're looking at here is San Francisco County in orange and Alameda County in purple. And again, I'm not comparing the two side by side because they're very different demographics. But what I want people to see is that for sold listings, both counties have taken a hit. For new listings in Alameda County, supply has dropped year over year. So January 2023 versus January 2024, supply has dropped in Alameda County for all types of properties, roughly around 5%. But the number of sold listings has dropped 15% year over year. In San Francisco County, very, very similar numbers we're seeing. Supply has dropped around 4% year over year, and the number of sold listings has dropped 13% year over year. So what we're seeing here is that supply hasn't really, year over year from January to January, hasn't done very much, but the number of sold listings has dropped pretty significantly. My guess is that it has something to do with interest rates. So Karlo, I want you to chime in because you are on the interest rate end of things. What are you thinking? What are you seeing in the market?
Yeah, I can definitely confirm less activity this year over last when it comes to the number of pre-approvals for purchases that we're seeing. A lot of it, if not all of it, has to do with the fact that interest rates are still relatively high. We're, backing off those kind of historic highs of the 8% range. And, right now we're seeing kind of that low to mid 6% for your conventional financing options, which is still, much, much higher than we were last year. Okay, so the important thing to know is that interest rates will remain at this level for the immediate future. We had a slight speed bump in terms of the core inflation readings last year in January, and I think that spooked a lot of people, on the Fed. And from an economist perspective, there seems to be some concern that the economy is still running very, very hot, and the last thing they want to do is lower interest rates and spark maybe some hyperinflation concerns. So the Fed and the Fed chair has continued to state that they're going to be very data driven. With that, next week we're going to get a lot of information. We're getting appreciation data on Tuesday in terms of housing. We'll update you on that, obviously. We're getting GDP numbers on Wednesday. And we're getting another inflation reading on Thursday. So, I think overall, we're still expecting interest rates to drop this year. It may have been pushed out a little bit given, how inflation reacted last year. But the good news is that, there's still time to get in. There's still time to get in before this market shifts into a true seller's market. So, let's start talking about those pre-approvals and ways to get competitive now while prices are still very stable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm really interested to see what happens with the number of active listings in February. Those numbers won't be available till late next week. And so, but I'll send out to my newsletter, like everyone who's subscribed to my newsletter, I'll send out a few numbers to see, was there a huge drop between all the excitement about lower interest rates in January versus what that did to the number of new listings in February. So that's going to be interesting. That'll be next week as well. But Carlo, tell me, and if you want to tell anyone who's watching this video, do you see any programs that CrossCountry has that could be somewhat helpful for buyers who are trying to get in the market, first-time home buyers especially?
Um, I mean, yeah, we've got tons of ways to qualify first-time home buyers and, different people in different situations. I think the one that really comes to mind right now, based off of kind of, recent closings, we were able to do almost a $3 million purchase last month, with just 15% down. Obviously, that's not going to be everyone's situation, but it is a reminder that even with prices being this high and in this market, you don't necessarily need to have a ton of capital. And what's even better is that when you're talking about high balance conforming limits, here in California and in the Bay Area, most counties, you can get a loan of up to a little under $1.15 million. So $1,150,000 up to that loan or financing with as little as 5% down. Okay, so it does afford a lot of buying power for first-time home buyers out there. Obviously, you still have to qualify. We can certainly talk about that, and what kind of the metrics are that we need to make sure so that you can get a strong pre-approval. So anyway, hope that helps someone out there.
Yeah, that's a little bit of good news. You don't have to have the traditional 20 to 25% down anymore for certain buyers. So yeah. So
here's the cool thing. Sorry, Michael.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
For in a lot of cases, especially this one that I'm talking about last week, we did, it was a very large loan, $2.3 million, whatever the case may be, but we did it with 15% down and no PMI. So
okay. That's good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
right?
really good.
Yeah. So anyway, some very creative, very, very out of the box options out there that you may not know about, or your borrowers may not know about. So let's find them and get to talking to them.
Okay. So as always, I will put Carlo's information and my information down in the description. Our doors are always open. So if you have any questions, you want to talk numbers with Carlo, if you want to talk numbers with me, like where's this market headed? Definitely give us a ring. We're available anytime to chat with anyone that you might know.